Let's talk about being the kind one. You're the person who always shows up, who's patient, who gives people not just a second chance, but a third and maybe even a fourth. And what's the reward? Often it feels like you're just getting ignored, disrespected, or even treated like a doormat. If any of that sounds painfully familiar, stick around. We're gonna break down exactly why this keeps happening, and much more importantly, how to change the entire game.
So let's just start with a really direct question. Have you ever had that sinking feeling that your best quality, your own kindness, is actually being used against you? That it's somehow become less of a strength and more of a vulnerability that people can exploit? These right here, these are the classic symptoms. You find yourself being taken for granted so often that it almost starts to feel normal. You get overlooked, talked over, and just plain disrespected. You might even catch yourself wondering, is something wrong with me? Well, the good news is there isn't. There's just a different way we need to look at this.
And this is the absolute key takeaway. Nothing is wrong with you, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with being kind. The problem is that your kindness has been left, well, unprotected. It has no guardrails, no boundaries. And that right there is what we're going to fix.
This is what I like to call the kindness liability. It's that moment where your greatest asset, your generosity, your good nature, actually starts to cost you. It costs you your peace of mind, it costs you respect, and sometimes it even costs you your sense of who you are.
Look, kindness is an unbelievably powerful force for good in the world. But the second that people start mistaking your kindness for weakness, that's the moment you start losing. That's when your greatest virtue flips and becomes your biggest liability. So how do we fix this? Well, we need a little shift in our thinking. And to do that, we're going to borrow a page from a pretty unexpected source, Niccolo Machiavelli. Now wait, before you think we're going to become cruel or calculating, that's not the goal. The goal is just to become a bit more of a realist about human nature.
You see, Machiavelli's core insight is really fascinating. He realized that people don't always respond to goodness with more goodness. Nope, they respond to signals. And if the signal you're constantly sending is, I will be kind to you no matter what you do, the signal they receive is, oh, this person has no limits. And what happens to people without limits? They get taken advantage of. It's almost a law of nature.
This right here is the fundamental shift we need to make. We're moving away from the old way, where kindness feels like an automatic obligation. The new way, kindness is a conscious strategy. The goal is no longer just to be liked by everyone. The new goal is to be respected. Okay, so now let's get into the good stuff, the new rules. This is your practical, actionable playbook for taking back control and changing these dynamics for good.
We're going to focus on 3 core principles here. First, we have to learn to see people for who they really are, not who we wish they were. Second, we're going to practice something called strategic detachment. And third, and this is a big one, we're going to learn how to hold our ground when it really counts. All right, step 1 is absolutely critical. See, kind people have a tendency to project their own integrity onto other people. We just assume that if we treat someone well, of course they'll do the same in return. But you have to start seeing people as they actually are. Pay attention to their consistent patterns over time. That is the truth of who they are, and that clarity, that is your protection.
Just pause and think about this for a second. Every single time someone crosses a line, big or small, and you let it go, you say nothing. What message are you actually sending them?
Because when you let things slide, you're not just being nice, you are actively teaching people that your boundaries don't matter. You see, people don't just guess where your limits are, they learn them by testing them. And if there's no consequence, no pushback, they don't feel guilty, they just feel comfortable doing it again, and maybe pushing a little further next time.
So the next rule is all about strategic detachment. Now, this does not mean you become cold or you shut everyone out. All it means is that you stop being perpetually available to everyone all the time. You start managing your availability and you stop over-investing in people who consistently drain you. Your time and your attention, they are valuable resources. It's time to start treating them that way. This is so important to understand. You don't earn respect by quietly enduring 100 small acts of disrespect. You don't earn it by biting your tongue over and over. You earn it in one clear, strong, decisive moment where you finally show someone exactly where your line is drawn. And what does that strong moment look like? Well, it's probably not what you think. It's not a big, loud, emotional explosion. In fact, the most powerful person in any room is very often the calmest one. When you react with a big emotion, you are literally handing over your power.
But when you can stay calm and centered, you signal that you are in control. Calm is the new power.
All right, let's bring all of this home. The goal here isn't to stop being a kind person. It's to start practicing what we can call kindness by design. It's about making your kindness a deliberate, conscious choice, not just an automatic default setting.
And here it is. This is the new framework, the single most important rule to live by from now on. It's incredibly simple. People who treat you with respect, they get more access to you. People who disrespect you, they get less. You do it quietly, without a big dramatic announcement. You simply redirect your energy.
This really is the whole transformation. Your kindness shifts from being automatic for everyone to being selective. It's no longer a guarantee that everyone gets. It becomes a privilege that you choose to award. And most importantly, you finally move from a place of chronic self-neglect to one of deep, foundational self-respect.
And just to be crystal clear, this is not a call to become cynical or cold or heartless. Not at all. It's about evolving. It's about becoming someone who is still warm, who is still generous, but who also has teeth and isn't afraid to show them when the moment absolutely calls for it.
So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Your kindness, your time, your energy, they are a privilege. So take a good, honest look at your life right now and ask yourself, who has truly earned it?